powered name of We Are Change Connecticut, wearechangect.org, and this is Truth Talk News. In 2008, we had the financial crisis, quote unquote, and the endless recession that we've encountered ever since. And they hush on this all the time on the news. They never discuss it. They report it and then they bury it, which is what's done when they want you to not pay attention to something. So when you hear a story and then it goes away, you better bet that there's a reason for it. It goes along with what's going on in Benghazi, or I should say what happened in Benghazi and the cover-up, Fast and Furious, all of these criminal activities that have occurred over the last decades. I mean, this is not just an Obama problem. I mean, this is a New World Order problem. And Cyprus's wealth confiscation. Remember that? Everyone went to bed on Friday. They woke up and 25% of their bank accounts were gone on Saturday. Could only take out $300 at a time. On Monday, when the banks reopened, don't think that can't happen here, because guess what? There is a domino effect of this happening. And as I've reported, and this is the whole reason why I do this at all, I could do many other things with my time, but I know this is happening. I have intelligence that proves it. I have people that are friends that are former intelligence agents, current intelligence agents, people in the militia, people in law enforcement, I'll put it that way, that are patriots, that know what's going on. And what we're having here is a setup for something, possible financial crash, and they're looting us again, and that's maybe why FEMA Region 3 is having this big build-up. But whatever it is, remember Cyprus. Remember Cyprus. Because bail-ins have become the accepted practice. No bank account or pension fund will ever be 100% safe again. Michael Snyder wrote a great article in The Economic Collapse. I report on his work a lot. He's really does a tremendous amount of research and is an excellent writer. So I plug him again. And what we have going on here is just the beginning with Cyprus. Now we have the pension funds were just raided by the government of Poland. For years, there had been rumors that someday the U.S. government would raid private pension funds. Well, we know it's coming, and it is not a rumor. It is a plan. They're just waiting for the proper way and action to do it, and way to get away with it. The only way to get away with it is to have all these catastrophes and financial cliffs and shutting down the government and Obamacare and all these job-killing measures that put the people into poverty. How America cannot realize this or watch it happening astounds me, because they're too busy watching Beyonce and all these other rappers and all these Lady Gaga and television shows, and to divert their attention from reality. In fact, they really don't want to know the truth. I think it's fair to say the average American just doesn't want to know. They don't want to be bothered with it. Well, no one's going to come and tell me that they can take away my property and my rights and my liberty without a fight. So here, a little bit of a rant there, I'm sorry, but hell, I do this for a reason. These people have to know what's going on. This is real. This is happening. We have a serious problem. This is not like some fantasy somebody cooked up. I mean, the government's planning for civil unrest, storing food and water, having all sorts of operations that are black ops and underground bases and dumps and everything else. Oh yeah, all sorts of things that the average people don't know. And as I said in the beginning, they report on something, it's true, they bury it so everyone forgets about it in the collective consciousness of humanity while they're watching sports and their favorite wrestling, whatever. It's an unfortunate truth. So in Poland, according to Reuters, private pension funds were raided in order to reduce the size of the government debt. Poland said Wednesday it will transfer to the state many of the assets held by private pension funds, slashing public debt and putting it toward the debt of the country. This can't happen here, please. So it's happening in Poland, and there's obviously a doubt about the future of the multi-billion-dollar euro funds, and many of them, of course, are foreign-owned because these are internationalist bankers. They have no country. They want to rule the world, and they're working on it. The Polish government is doing their best to make it sound like some sort of a complicated legal maneuver, but the truth is what they've done is stolen private assets without giving any compensation in return. The Polish Pension Funds Organization says the plan may be unconstitutional because the government is taking private assets away from them without offering any compensation. Announcing the long-awaited overhaul of state-guaranteed pensions, Prime Minister Donald Tusk said private pensions within the state-guaranteed system would have their bond holdings transferred to a state pension vehicle but keep their equity holdings. Right. He said that what remains in citizens' pension pots and the private funds will be gradually transferred into the state vehicle over the next 10 years before savers hit retirement age. Well, that's that. That's what's happening there. In Iceland, for years, Iceland is applauded for how they handled their financial crisis and they got their government out. But now it's being proposed that there's a blanket guarantee that will apply to all bank accounts should be reduced by 100,000 euros. And this will open the door for haircuts to be applied to bank account balances above that amount. Following the crisis in 2008, Iceland's government declared all deposits in domestic financial institutions were blanket guaranteed, an emergency act that was reaffirmed twice since. However, according to the financial minister, who's proposing to restrict this guarantee, is only to deposits less than 100,000 euros. So that's what they're talking about. And sadly, reminiscent of the European Union template to haircut large depositors, this is coincidental. Of course, the timing seems to be coincidental, given the current stagnation of talks between Iceland bank creditors and the government over these haircuts and lifting capital controls. Now, European finance ministers have, of course, agreed to a plan that would make bail-ins the standard procedure for rescuing too-big-to-fail banks in the future. So it's obviously a banker's world. It's a banker's world government. Let's take care of the bankers. The people be damned. In Italy, as Zero Hedge reported on Tuesday, a bail-in is now being organized for the oldest bank in Italy. Monte Paschi Fassi bail-in, as capital needs point to nationalization. So we have all of this going on. New Zealand, Canada. Can America be far behind? Absolutely not. We're so arrogant in this country. Terrorism will never touch our shores. We're the leader in everything in the world. We believe that. We believe that we're the epitome of the pop culture and Hollywood and all these things that mean nothing. We're well known for, but we're far down the line in education, far down the line in healthcare for its citizens. And let's face it, this government doesn't work for the people. It's a government that's for, by, and of the corporations. And that has to change, or we'll all be bankrupt. If you have a pension or 401k, I seriously doubt you will come out of this unscathed. Just like people are always, the going joke at the coffee shops, that Social Security is not going to be there when it's time for us to get it, right? Isn't that what they say? Doesn't every American honestly in your gut believe that, hey, you're probably not going to see that? Doesn't the average American just sort of accept that? Wake up, everybody. We're being lied to in a major way. And the wealth of this nation is being stolen. Don't be sheeple, people. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Go to wearechangect.org. I'm Howard Nima. Thank you for watching Truth Talk News, where news the mainstream media ignores is the top story. For more truth, subscribe to Freedom First Films on YouTube and Truth Talk News on livestream.com. To bed on Friday, they woke up and 25% of their bank accounts were gone on Saturday. Could only take out $300 at a time. On Monday, when the banks reopened, don't think that can't happen here, because guess what? There is a domino effect of this happening. And as I've reported, and this is the whole reason why I do this at all, I could do many other things with my time. Fast and Furious, all of these criminal activities that have occurred over the last decades. I mean, this is not just an Obama problem. I mean, this is a New World Order problem. And Cyprus's wealth confiscation. Remember that? Everyone went time. But I know this is happening. I have intelligence that proves it. I have people that are friends that are former intelligence agents, current intelligence agents, people in the militia, people in law enforcement, I'll put it that way, that are patriots, that know what's going on. And what we're having here, and they hush-hush on this all the time on the news. They never discuss it. They report it, and then they bury it, which is what's done when they want you to not pay attention to something. So when you hear a story and then it goes away, you better bet that there's a reason for it. It goes along with what's going on in Benghazi, or I should say what happened in Benghazi and the cover-up. Fast. I'm Howard Nima of We Are Change, Connecticut, wearechangect.org, and this is Truth Talk News. In 2008, we had the financial crisis, quote unquote, and the endless recession that we've encountered ever since.